Dave. Hello, you've mentioned many times that you sold your comics collection years ago. Yes, when I moved out of my parents' place in 1976 and was moving into a one-room apartment, I sold all of my collection, like, complete set of Justice League, complete set of X-Men, etc., and just hung on to the stuff that I found artistically inspiring. Barry Windsor Smith comics, Neil Adams comics, Bernie Wrightson comics, probably more Warren magazines than any DC or Marvel comics per se. You also talk about all the free indie / self-published / creator-owned books you receive as gifts. Do you keep all of these and or consider this a separate kind of quote collection, unquote? And yeah, it's Cerebus archive material. I wish back in the day when I was getting tons and tons of indie and self-published comics that I had saved all of them. Back then we didn't even have long boxes, and that would be the most sensible thing to have done, which I came late to. This is what I do now. Out back at Camp David, there's always a short box standing on its end, and any indie comics that I get or self-published comics that I get from someone, I put them in there sequentially, so you can see when it is that I received them. And if I wrote a letter to the person, which is not an infrequent occurrence now that not a lot of them come in, making suggestions or applauding individual strengths. And let me just get her sideways onto Gary Boyarsky. I got in Jack Grimm 7, 8, 9, and 10 today. Congratulations, Gary. And definitely coming along by leaps and bounds. Nothing could have surprised me more than getting 4 issues of Jack Grimm in at once when it's the 5th anniversary and he's at issue 10. So any letter that I send to somebody about the comic book that they sent, I'll print out an extra copy of the letter outside of the correspondence archive and put it in with the book itself, as well as whatever letter that I got from the individual. But yeah, that's a separate kind of collection, because this isn't a comic book that I picked for myself. This is a comic book that somebody sent to me because I inspired them to be a self-publisher, or they found out about me after the fact and went, I really have to send this comic book to this guy. So back in the day, back in the Spirits of Independence and all of that time period, the Guide to Self-Publishing, I would be guessing that it would probably be 3 or 4 long boxes of comics that I would have, and I really wish that I had those, but it just seemed completely unwieldy. It's like, no, if I've got this many of these right now, imagine what I'm going to have in 20 years. I won't have room to store them. Well, you never know how temporary something is, and that's how temporary it is. And MJ signs off, cheers from Bat-S Crazy, California. And yeah, I'll go on with that. I have to say, just when I think things can't get any crazier out there, hearing about the fact that they're not prosecuting shoplifting anymore, part of me goes, no, that's just complete completely over into Looney Tunes territory. There is absolutely no justification for that. That's actively dismantling civilization. On the other hand, what's the actual situation on the ground in terms of, is this just a way of saying, well, we have to do something about the homeless situation, we have to do something about the hungry, and we have to do something about the, let's call them at this point, the terminally addicted. And if that's, well, okay, if you can't afford to buy stuff, just walk in and pick up something that you think you need, and very possibly, California could be on the cutting edge of that. It sounds like, I read the New York Post twice a week. It sounds like New York's going, yeah, that's just crazy enough to work. Let's not prosecute shoplifters. And what the heck? You can go in and just steal some food if you want to eat it, or if you're going into a high-end luxury store like Burberry or Louis Vuitton or someplace like that, just grab a suitcase to the pawn shop, get your $75 or your $80 or whatever it is, and go out and either buy enough drugs to kill yourself or start getting yourself put back together. I will probably be long dead before people either say, boy, was that ever a wrong path to take. What were we thinking of saying that people can shoplift with impunity? To going, remember back in 2020 when this was a really weird, innovative idea that was going to dismantle civilization, and now it's just, oh, that guy just swiped a loaf of bread in front of me and in front of the clerk. Must be homeless or must be a drug addict. So there you go. Dave Sims' current best thinking on that crazy California.
My problem with the concept is, if you're stealing food, okay, but does the store keep track of what got stolen and then go to the state and say, hey, you owe us $85 in groceries, and get a tax break or something to, so that they're not eating it? Or is it just that, nope, you're screwed?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. You don't know the answer to that. It's like there's, the real earthy, crunchy people running stores who are just, probably getting completely in tune with this. No, this is fine. This is part of my cross to bear as a first world exploiter of the poor. That please, by all means, if you're poor or drug addicted or homeless or whatever, please come into my store and steal stuff. You'll make me feel a lot better. And yes, there's going to be people who are going to say, well, okay, as a program, I'll go along with this, but I have to be able to file as many made-up invoices as I want to the state and get them to pay me back.
I mean, I know there's a pizza joint in New York, I think it's down in the Subway, where you can buy a piece of pizza for yourself, or you can pay for 2 pieces and they'll put a post-it note on the wall that, free slice of pizza, and then homeless people can come in, pull a post-it note off the wall and get a free slice of pizza so that they're not starving. And everybody went, oh no, you're not going to make any money. And no, the guy's making money hand over fist, because all the tourists come in going, I'm going to buy 5 slices of pizza because I'm such a good Samaritan. And,
Right.
It was one of these, it started off with, there's 12, 13 post-it notes, and as soon as the story got out, the wall's completely covered now, and he's actually turning people away going, no, we literally have more free slices than we know what to do with.
Right, exactly.
I mean, and that's a feel-good story. So I can't see going, okay, we're just not going to, prosecute criminals because, well, he's down on his luck. Well, yeah, I understand he's down on his luck, but why is he down on his luck? Why can't, I mean, Why can't he go to the manager and say, "Hey, you know, I'm starving. Could I steal a sandwich?"
Right, right. I mean, there's still bad seeds. There's we've got a program that they've developed in Kitchener, a better tent city, where instead of it being a tent, it's a really, really, really tiny house, like barely able to fit like a bed and a table and chair kind of thing. But it's a house, and you know, it's centrally heated and it's structurally sound, and it's got a lock on the door, and this is something that, okay, you're homeless. We're going to create these as fast as we can, and you can, you know, become a participant in this. And they've already had like a good handful of people, let's say 3 or 4 people, that it's just, no, you can't get along with anybody. We've bent over backward to provide you with, you know, the absolute minimum requirement for sustenance, and you're just nothing but a troublemaker. You have been thrown out of the better tent city. At which point I go, right, you still need insane asylums. There still are crazy people, and there still are evil people. There's just not as many crazy people and evil people as we think that there are, or as we used to think that there are. But you still need at least 2 floors of a building somewhere with really big guys who can make you be cooperative, because you won't be cooperative anytime that we try to help you to be cooperative. So consequently, you're gonna get stuck with Ivan here, who weighs like 400 pounds, is covered in tattoos, and just won't take S from anybody. We're working through these things. Everybody has the goodwill to work through them, and it's not going to happen in our lifetime. But we're already further along with the philosophy of it. Something has to be done for the terminally homeless, the pathologically drug addicted. Besides just saying, no, these people don't deserve help. Well, no, that's certainly true. They don't deserve help, but some of them, if you give them the help, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you get what you need. Okay, moving on from there, Nadab Art asks,